The practice green at Bay Hill was buzzing with its usual Saturday morning energy when the news hit. Rory McIlroy, the defending Masters champion, the man who just completed the career Grand Slam last April, was supposed to tee off in less than an hour. He was sitting at 4 under, 9 shots back but within striking distance, ready to make a weekend charge at one of the tour's signature events. Then someone noticed he wasn't on the putting green. He wasn't doing his usual routine. He went straight to the range, hit balls for a couple of minutes, and suddenly stopped. Within minutes, the announcement came, and the golf world held its breath. This isn't just another injury. This is Rory McIlroy's back, acting up just weeks before he defends his green jacket at Augusta. And the way it happened has fans wondering, how bad is this really? Subscribe for the full story of the scare that just rocked the PGA Tour. March 7, 2026 started like any other tournament Saturday at Bay Hill. The Florida sun was warm, the crowds were filing in, and Rory McIlroy was preparing for his third round with the kind of quiet focus that's defined his career. But something felt off from the beginning. According to Golf Channel's Brentley Romaine, who was monitoring player preparations, McIlroy deviated from his usual routine. Instead of starting on the putting green, he went straight to the range. For a player as meticulous as McIlroy, any change in routine raises eyebrows. What happened next raised alarms. McIlroy hit balls for only a couple of minutes before making the difficult call. Later, a statement would explain what went wrong. "While warming up in the gym this morning, I felt a small twinge in my back," McIlroy said. "As I started hitting balls on the range before the round, it worsened and developed into muscle spasms in my lower back. Unfortunately, I'm not able to continue and have to withdraw." The timing couldn't be worse. McIlroy was scheduled to defend his title at the Players' Championship next week at TPC Sawgrass, one of golf's most prestigious events. More importantly, the Masters looms just weeks away on April 9th through 12th, where McIlroy will defend the green jacket he finally captured in 2025 to complete the career Grand Slam. As McIlroy got into his car to leave Bay Hill, a reporter asked if he was okay. He gave a thumbs up and said, "All good." But the golf world wasn't convinced. For a player who has built his reputation on toughness and reliability, this was only his second PGA Tour withdrawal in a career spanning nearly 2 decades. The first came in 2013 at the Honda Classic, when he walked off mid-round citing severe wisdom tooth pain. This was different. This was the back, and back issues have a way of lingering. When Rory McIlroy walked off the Bay Hill property Saturday morning, he did something he's only done twice in nearly 2 decades as a professional. He withdrew from a PGA Tour event. The statistics are staggering. In 256 career starts on the PGA Tour, this marks just the second time McIlroy has failed to complete a tournament. The first came in 2013 at the Honda Classic, when he walked off during the second round, initially citing a sore wisdom tooth, later admitting his head wasn't in the right place. That's it. 2 withdrawals in 18 years. For context, Tiger Woods has withdrawn from tournaments 11 times in his career. Phil Mickelson has done it 8 times. McIlroy's durability and consistency have been hallmarks of his greatness. But here's what makes this withdrawal different. It's the back. McIlroy has dealt with back issues before. At the 2023 Tour Championship, his lower back spasmed so severely before the tournament that he could barely address the ball. He played anyway, finishing 4th. He's gutted out injuries that would have sidelined lesser competitors: a ruptured ankle ligament in 2015, a stress fracture in his rib in 2017, a strained wrist tendon in 2011. He's always found a way to compete. This time, he chose not to. "I might have been able to gut it out," McIlroy told Golf Channel's Todd Lewis as he left the course, but didn't want to push it with the major season on the horizon. That sentence reveals everything. McIlroy isn't thinking about Bay Hill. He's thinking about Sawgrass next week. He's thinking about Augusta in 33 days, where he'll defend the green jacket he waited 14 years to finally slip on. He's thinking about history. The 2015 ankle injury taught him a painful lesson. He was playing soccer with friends, just messing around, when he ruptured a ligament. That single moment cost him his Open Championship defense at St. Andrews, the WGC Bridgestone, and months of his prime. He learned that protecting your body means making smart choices, even when every instinct screams at you to compete. Saturday morning, those instincts screamed loud. McIlroy arrived at Bay Hill feeling confident after a second-round 68 that moved him to 4 under and into the top 10. He was 9 shots behind leader Daniel Berger, but Bay Hill is a course where anything can happen. He wanted to play. But as he warmed up in the gym, a small twinge in his back whispered a warning. He went to the range, hoping to hit through it. Instead, the twinge became a spasm. After just a few minutes, he made the call, and in doing so, demonstrated a maturity that only comes from experience. As he got into his car to leave, a reporter asked if he was okay. McIlroy gave a thumbs up and said 3 words that offered the golf world a sliver of relief. "I'm all good." To understand why Rory McIlroy's withdrawal at Bay Hill sent shockwaves through the golf world, you have to look at the calendar. March 7th, the Players' Championship starts in 5 days. The Masters begins in 33 days. For the defending champion at both events, this wasn't just a bad Saturday, it was a potential catastrophe. McIlroy's 2025 season was the stuff of dreams. He finally captured the green jacket at Augusta, outlasting Justin Rose in a playoff to become just the 6th player in history to complete the career Grand Slam. He followed it up with a playoff victory at the Players, beating J.J. Spaun in a 3-hole thriller to claim the 5th major. 2 of the biggest titles in golf, both now needing to be defended within a 5-week window. And now, this. It's just the second WD of McIlroy's PGA Tour career, the stats remind us. The first came in 2013 at the Honda Classic, when he walked off citing a toothache and later admitted his head wasn't in the right place. That was mental. This is physical. This is the back. The history is worth examining. McIlroy has dealt with injuries before, the 2015 ruptured ankle ligament that cost him his Open Championship defense at St. Andrews, the 2017 rib fracture that forced multiple withdrawals, the 2023 back spasms before the Tour Championship that he played through anyway. He's always been the guy who guts it out, who finds a way to compete. That's why this withdrawal hits different. "I might have been able to gut it out," McIlroy told reporters as he left Bay Hill, but didn't want to push it with the major season on the horizon. Translation: this is precautionary. This is strategic. This is a 36-year-old veteran who has learned that playing through pain in March can cost you trophies in April. Sources around McIlroy were quick to label this a precaution rather than a serious long-term concern. The Telegraph reported that McIlroy lives just a few hundred miles south of Bay Hill in Palm Beach Gardens, and with Sawgrass only a short private jet hop away, he can wait until the 11th hour before deciding on the Players. The Irish Times confirmed he's confident of defending his title at TPC Sawgrass, heading home to rest and take further medical advice before his scheduled Wednesday press conference. But confidence and certainty are different things. And with the Masters looming, the golf world is holding its breath. To understand why Rory McIlroy's back spasm at Bay Hill sent such a jolt through the golf world, you have to look at the full picture of what his body has been through. McIlroy has built his reputation on being indestructible. 2 withdrawals in nearly 2 decades on tour tells you that, but the reality is more complicated. He's played through pain that would have sidelined lesser competitors. He's gutted it out when every instinct screamed at him to stop. And now, at 36, those battles are catching up. The most significant injury of his career came in 2015 when he ruptured a ligament in his left ankle while playing soccer with friends. It wasn't a golf injury. It wasn't even training related. It was a casual game that turned into a nightmare. "I suffered a total rupture of the anterior talofibular ligament," McIlroy revealed at the time. The recovery cost him his Open Championship defense at St. Andrews, the WGC Bridgestone Invitational, and months of his prime. He became the first player since Ben Hogan in 1954 to miss the Open as defending champion. That was the first time the golf world realized McIlroy was human. 2 years later, a different problem emerged. At the South African Open in January 2017, McIlroy battled through pain that he initially thought was a back issue. He finished second, but something was wrong. Tests after the event revealed a stress fracture in his rib, an injury caused by hitting too many balls while testing new equipment and making swing adjustments. "I can't even run at the minute," McIlroy admitted. "If my feet hit the ground hard at all, the vibration in my rib cage sort of hurts." That injury forced him out of the Abu Dhabi HSBC Championship, the Dubai Desert Classic, and the BMW PGA Championship at Wentworth. The heel healed, but the pattern was set. In 2023, his lower back spasmed so severely before the Tour Championship that he could barely address the ball. He'd aggravated it in his home gym, then re-aggravated it practicing at Eastlake. With limited movement in his torso, he had to rely on his arms to generate power, hitting just 11 greens and struggling with chip shots that failed to reach the putting surface. He still competed, still finished, still refused to quit. "I honestly couldn't address the ball this time yesterday," McIlroy said that week, "so to get to where I am today is good." That's the Rory McIlroy the golf world knows, the guy who fights through, the guy who refuses to give in. But this time, he made a different choice. This time, he walked away. As Rory McIlroy drove away from Bay Hill with a thumbs up and those 3 reassuring words, "I'm all good," the golf world exhaled. But only slightly. The immediate crisis had passed. The long-term questions remain. McIlroy's withdrawal was just the second of his PGA Tour career, a statistical anomaly that underscores how remarkably durable he's been across nearly 2 decades. The first came in 2013 at the Honda Classic, when he walked off citing wisdom tooth pain and later admitted his head wasn't in the right place. That was mental. This was physical. This was the back. The timing, as everyone knows, is brutal. The Players' Championship begins Thursday at TPC Sawgrass, where McIlroy is the defending champion after last year's dramatic 3-hole playoff victory over J.J. Spaun. 33 days later, he'll walk to the first tee at Augusta National as the defending Masters champion, the green jacket still fresh in his memory, the chance to join an exclusive group of back-to-back winners dangling in front of him. But here's what gives reason for hope. McIlroy didn't collapse on the course. He didn't re-injure himself during a swing. He felt a twinge in the gym, tested it on the range, and made a mature, calculated decision to step away. That's not a player in crisis. That's a veteran protecting his biggest moments. "I might have been able to gut it out," McIlroy told reporters, but didn't want to push it with the major season on the horizon. Translation: this is precautionary. This is strategic. This is a 36-year-old who has learned that playing through pain in March can cost you trophies in April. The schedule now becomes a waiting game. McIlroy headed back to his West Palm Beach home, just a short private jet hop from Sawgrass. He'll rest, consult with medical experts, and make a call as late as possible before his Wednesday press conference. The smart money says he plays. The cautious money says he'll be careful. For the fans, for the sport, for everyone who understands what McIlroy chasing history means, those 3 words offered the only reassurance that mattered. I'm all good. We'll find out soon enough. For more coverage of the biggest stories in golf, subscribe and hit the notification bell.